80% mindset, 20% skills. Life transformation in 9 days. Written by Dave Gadvi. Narrated by Dave Gadvi. Dedication. I would like to dedicate this book to Grant Cardone, who has changed my life with his book, The 10X Rule. I truly believe that this book will do what the 10X Rule did for me and help millions of people. Thank you, Uncle G. Testimonials. I am a big believer in the 80-20 principles. Most people come to me because they want to be more successful. I always tell people 80% of success is your mindset and 20% is your skill set. It doesn't matter if I give you a step-by-step system and show you exactly how to do something. Without the proper mindset, it will never work. Dave Gadvi has written the perfect book that addresses this issue. Read it and use it. Dan Lok, the king of high-ticket sales, Canadian self-made multimillionaire entrepreneur, highest paid consultant, best-selling author of FU Money and 13 books, coach to thousands, an acclaimed TEDx speaker and media celebrity. I'm an advocate of having a winning mindset, and Dave captures this concept so beautifully with 80-20. He shares inspirational stories and combines it with actionable strategies to help anyone break out of mediocrity and become unstoppable. Lily Ma, Canadian entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, business and life coach. Lily works with and supports Evan Carmichael's business. Dave has written something which will touch your heart and is absolutely practical. What makes this book special is Dave is walking his talk and practicing everything he mentions in the book. This book certainly changes your outlook on life. As you go through every page, you will realize what it takes to become world-class. A simple and easy to implement formula to transform lives. Bhupinder Singh Rathore, BSR, international motivational speaker, leadership consultant, self-made multimillionaire, corporate leadership trainer, India's leading business coach, and firewalk expert. This is one of the most amazing books I have read in a long time. I wish I had known these principles 30 years ago, but now at the age of 60, I think I'm out of time. However, I'm going to try to encourage my grown children to cultivate the more mentality before it's too late. Linda, the editor of this book. Love you, Mom and Dad. Warning. For some readers, this book will make you lose your current set of friends, lose your hobby, get you lots of criticism, lose your mind, and push you to do unbelievable things. In the end, it will all be worth it because you will lose middle class, which is mediocre mentality, and even better if you don't have one, and gain a millionaire or even a billionaire mindset. Middle class has nothing to do with how much money you have, but it is more to do with your ambition, action, and lifestyle. Good news. This book will bring you a new set of friends who are hungry for success. People who will motivate you to do more just like them. This book will convert your haters into admirers and bring new set of admirers around the world. This book will get you lots of attention and recognition at your workplace and business. This book will tune your mind and take you from average to good to great and finally becoming unstoppable. This book will question your belief system and will give you new perspective of things, a new reality, and a new way of thinking that will change your life forever for good. I am a bad reader myself. Hence, I know the importance of having an engaging and not so boring book. I have written this book in very easy to understand and simple language. While reading this book, you will feel like I'm talking to you. And actually I am. I challenge you to finish this book within a week and see an instant change in the way you walk, the way you talk, and the way you conduct yourself. The only thing I request you to do is read this book as if your life depends on it and to act on it. Once you see and realize the power of your mind, please refer this book to at least 3 people whom you really care for and insist that they read this book. Do not give up on them until they have read it and understood the true power within them. Very important. If and only if you finish this book within a week and implement this blueprint for an unstoppable mindset, will you become unstoppable. I finish a book in a day or two. Why? Because I know the importance of momentum. If I just read a few chapters and pick up the book after a few days, I will forget what I read in the first few parts. It is like going to a gym for a month and then taking a break for a month. All the hard work that we did in first month is wasted because the muscles or body went back to their normal state. So, here is what I want you to do. There are 3 major segments: realization, transformation, and sustainability. Try to finish at least one whole segment at a go. Yes, that means you can finish this book in 3 days. Why not? At the end of the day, the book is nothing but 20 big articles put together if you look technically. Only difference is, it is in a structure and in the form of a book. Here is a trick. Start reading this on the weekend so that you can go non-stop. Trust my words. Just commit first to changing your life, and this book will amplify all your positive thoughts and energy to create an unstoppable mind. This is your moment. Crush it. If we have an agreement, then let us shake hands. I need you to repeat the mutual unstoppable agreement out loud after I finish each line. I pledge my life to become unstoppable. From today, I take full control of my mind, my thoughts, my body, and my life. I would never, ever, ever, ever think anything that is average. I will dream big and will put in 10 times more effort to make things happen. I vow to cut all the loser friends, garbage habits, and negative thoughts out of my life. I have been born with genius inside me that I will bring to this world and become unstoppable. I have a lot more to offer to the world than just live 9 to 5 or a mediocre life. I was born to help many people. I know that we truly win when we help others win. There will never be anyone like me. I will build my legacy starting today, one step at a time. I will have the best of family life, health, and financial life. I will work hard, smart, and train every single day. I will never ever give any excuses and will take full ownership of all the events happening in my life. I will make my family proud of me. My children, future children, and grandchildren will look up to me as their role model. I will build my legacy so strong that people will want to become like me because I have greatness within me. I will not just admire greatness in others, but will unleash mine. I pledge to become unstoppable. Are you ready to become unstoppable and transform your life? Then move to the next section, which is your life's new chapter. The real story of Mo and Joe. Let me share the true story of two good friends, Mo and Joe. Names have been changed. They had a lot of similarities. Both were born in sub-middle class families where their fathers had low-paying jobs. Mothers were homemakers. Both had few siblings. They were born in tier 3 cities and went to finish their graduations with average grades from their hometowns. Both started working at a very early age to support their families and pay the debts while they were in college. They had a humble background and saw their parents struggling to raise their children. Joe started working part-time at a retail showroom and Mo started working for a logistic company. They did not meet until they moved to a big metropolitan city, Mumbai, where they started working for a multinational company in the year 2004. Coming from similar backgrounds with many similarities, they clicked and became good friends. They started sharing an apartment. Mo loved and admired Joe for how street smart he was and the way he would conduct sessions, the way he would connect with people, the way he interpreted things, his general knowledge, the way he supported his team, and the way he fought with the senior management for his team. He showed great leadership qualities. For instance, one day, Joe, Mo, and other managers were in a meeting with the HR head for a big multinational company. The HR head complained that Joe's team was not doing well or showing the right behavior to attain the goals. Joe was angry and almost fought with HR head to the point that all his colleagues had to chip in and ask Joe to calm down. Joe had a bad temper and was possessive when it came to his close friends or team. Joe showed Mo the art of being a great leader and fighting for your team. That was a leadership lesson Mo would never forget. On the other hand, Joe was quite popular among girls. He had an amazing sense of humor to make them laugh and make them fall for him. Now, looking at Joe's personality, you would not believe that he would even have a girl in his life. No offense, but it is the truth. He also admits the same. To prove my point, let me describe how he looked. He was short with dusky skin color, maybe more towards darker side. Less hair, half bald, and skinny. There was no way a pretty girl would describe him as the man of her dreams. Despite the sub-average looks, he was killing it with the girls. Girls wanted to hang out with him because of his witty sense of humor. He was a player. Now, you must be thinking, what about Mo? Mo must be handsome dude with great looks, fair and tall, but you were wrong. Nah, Mo was not so good looking either, except he had better height, more hair, and a similar skin tone to Joe's. Anyways, coming back to Mo's admiration for Joe, Mo secretly wanted to be like Joe, flamboyant, witty, a great speaker, possessing good general knowledge, and being an excellent leader. Time flew, and they had to go their separate ways. Mo moved to a different metro city to take up a job with better pay and better career opportunities. Joe stayed in the same city and worked for the same corporate for a few years and switched to another company later. In the year 2015, they met again, but their lives were completely different this time around. Mo got married to a beautiful girl who he was in love with. It was a love marriage. Mo had to fight a battle with his family to convince them to allow him to get married with somebody outside of their community. Finally, they did accept her and he was happy. He had an excellent job with amazing income plus commissions. He had traveled the countries like Australia, Singapore, Europe, USA, etc. He had good health as well. He was extremely happy and was living a comfortable life. On the other hand, Joe was struggling with his life. His income had not changed much in last 10 years. In fact, it had just increased by 20 to 30% as compared to what he was making in the year 2005. He was addicted to drinking daily. He would hang out with local punters, which is goons, who worked as bodyguards for some local crooks. He had a terrible breakup with the love of his life, an amazing girl who was very pretty, with a great toned body, fair complexion, long hair, brown eyes, bubbly and understanding and adjusting nature. Even to date, Joe regrets his stupid mistake of flirting with other girls while in a relationship with this beautiful girl. He admits his mistakes and knows that his short temper and arrogance led to this situation. Because of all his faults, she left him. His sister does not listen to him even though he is elder to her. His mother is quite worried as he drinks a lot and is getting old for marriage. He picks up fights every now and then. He lives in a small house where he is struggling to keep up with expenses. Joe had tears in his eyes while sharing his life's complications with Mo. Mo had never seen him cry, as Joe came across as a very strong person mentally. Mo was shocked seeing this because the one who he admired and wanted to emulate all his life was now someone who had lost the battle of life. His life graph was declining. Forget about staying stable. Sitting at the side of the pond, Joe said to Mo, "Brother, I'm in a shitty situation. I hate my life. I do not have a good salary. I do not have enough money. It has been few years since I broke up with my love, but I still cannot accept the reality. I want her back in my life. Please talk to her and ask her to give me a chance to explain. I do not know what to do." Mo replied, "Brother, I will be honest with you. You have been a role model to me back in those days. You were so good at what you did that I admired you and I wanted to be like you. I will not sugarcoat anything. You fucked up. But the good news is, it is not too late to take control of your life and get back on track. You are still young. What you need is a better job with better pay and a better environment. You need to stop hanging around with people who are not ambitious. I am not saying that your friends are bad, but what will you learn from hanging out with people who are below your mindset? You need to quit hanging out with your punter friends who you accompany during their fights. You need to quit drinking or at least control it." Joe said, "Yeah, I completely agree with you, brother. I need to change. Please help me find a job in your city and I will move out of this depressing place." Mo, "Great. Send me a resume. I will take care of the rest. I can even hire you in my team if you're committed enough." Year 2018. To date, Mo has never received the resume from Joe despite sending reminders. Mo has increased his income by 200% since 2015. He has built passive income sources. He has become a role model to thousands of people. He travels the world, has an amazing daughter, and his family loves him. He has cracked the code of becoming successful and living a rich life, not just in terms of money, but in terms of health and family as well. He has a better physique than ever before. He is working on his passion, which is to help people transform their lives. Joe is still living the same old life with not much improvement. He is still single, still has similar pay, his sister is married and happy with one child, mother is still worried for Joe. He still lives in the same small apartment, not sure about the friends he hangs around with. In short, Joe is still an average Joe. Bright future. Year 2022. Mo has become super successful in his life by helping millions of people transform their lives. Mo has built a strong legacy with millions of admirers who consider him a mentor. Mo is a highly paid consultant and business mentor who has built life-changing products like best-selling books, educating people on how to win in personal life and business using proven ideas and innovative techniques around sales, social media, and entrepreneurship, Digital universities that can beat the redundant traditional theoretical education systems, an inner circle of like minded people who are helping each other grow, mentorship programs that provides practical ways of winning, workshop helping people build multiple sources of income, workshop helping people attain financial freedom. Mo is running an NGO too, helping poor street vendors build their businesses using scalable models and innovative ideas for free. There is a waiting period of 2 to 3 months to get Mo's appointment for consulting. Mo and Joe are still friends, but more like social media friends who know each other but do not know each other well enough. Once a while, Joe sends a message to Mo saying, I am so proud of you and your growth. Now, you must be wondering and judging Mo. Since Mo is transforming many lives, why is he not helping Joe transform his life? What do you think? Why not? This saying will answer your question. You cannot help someone who is not willing to help himself. Having the same exact background and skills, what made Mo grow so much whereas Joe remained average? What was the one element that was missing in Joe's life? What are the secrets to Mo's success? How can Joe live the life of his dreams? Is it money? Is it skill? Or is it the mindset that made the difference to Mo's life? How can Joe kill average Joe and build a life of abundance? Joe's story may not be everyone's story, but I can tell you this. There is an average Joe and Mo in each and every person living on this planet. Our subconscious has both Joe and Mo in our mind in the form of a little voice. Joe represents a middle class mentality, whereas Mo has a millionaire mindset. Middle class mentality has nothing to do with money. A person having $1 million in his account can have a middle class mentality, and a middle class person could have acquired a millionaire mindset as well. But what will define their financial success is how long they continue to have mindset. If a middle class mentality, which is Joe mentality person with $1 million in his bank account continues to have the same mindset, it won't take long before he goes broke. If a person living in a middle class family continues to think like a millionaire, which is Mo mindset, then he surely will find a way to make it happen and will live a rich and happy life. Joe is a little voice within us that tells us things like, relax, don't push yourself too hard, life is to enjoy, just go to work and pay the bills, save for a rainy day, do not take risk, you cannot do business, you are not so great at this, books are a waste of time, you feel bored reading books, let us watch TV instead of reading a book. Don't go to the gym. You do not have time for this. Self-help is crap. Rich people are evil, and on and on. Mo is the voice within us that tells us exactly opposite of what Joe says. It tells you to go beyond your comfort zone. It tells you to take risk. Imagine unimaginable things. You are born to become super rich. You can do whatever you like. There is an abundance of everything. You have unlimited energy to make things happen. You have the power to change the world. Everything will fall in place. Just take the leap of faith. Mo mindset usually is very dominant during our childhood days. Remember as a kid how naughty you were, how much action you had in your life. You were unstoppable. You would never get tired. You used to think that anything was possible. You had dreams of becoming a pilot, doctor, or even super rich. So, what happened then? How did the Mo within us die as we grew up and average Joe took over our mind and body? How did Joe become so powerful, putting himself in charge over Mo and making us average? I have heard people say, Dave, I do not have time to set up a business or do something over and above at a job. I do not have time to work out. I have responsibilities and I cannot take a chance. I don't think I am meant to be super successful. This person for sure has been dominated by an average Joe, which is middle class mentality. When someone says, Dave, I am passionate about fitness and want to make career of it, this is where Mo is trying to rise. But then the following statement from Joe overpowers. But I don't have enough money. Or I don't have time to do it. And he goes back to being average Joe. Now, lots of people may not have the exact same miserable life like our friend Joe in above story had, but chances are they are still being dominated by average Joe thinking. Let me share one more story. Mukesh was born in a middle class family where his parents were living on a single income salary. He loved his life as a kid, had big dreams, and was passionate about photography. As he grew up, his family sent him to a preschool and later school. Teachers and family told him, if you do not work hard, you will fail. If you fail, you won't get a decent job. If you do not get a decent job, you will never be able to live a happy life. So, he did study very hard, scored decent marks, and became an engineer. At the age of 25, he found a job and got into the rat race. At the age of 28, his income grew, and he was satisfied with his life, although his passion was photography. At 30, he got married. At 32, the couple was blessed with a child. At 33, he took a car loan, rented a beautiful house, and started living a comfortable life. At 35, he took a home loan and realized that he was only living paycheck to paycheck with little or no savings. At 37, he started to look for better jobs with better pay so that he could afford his two children's education, pay the bills, and his home loan, which is mortgage. He continued to work hard and tried to climb the corporate ladder by fighting against all the politics, his annoying boss, minor health-related issues, late-night work hours, bad work schedules, and sometimes he took vacations using his savings. At the age of 50, he had finally saved some amount, but that was kept aside for his children's marriage and retirement. He wanted to get into photography, but was worried that he would not be able to make much money and provide the same lifestyle for his family. At the age of 65, finally he saved enough and raised his children well. Now it was time to enjoy the freedom, travel the world, do some photography, and retire in a peaceful location. But the problem was that his health is not so good. He did not have much energy and stamina. His only regret was that he never got to live the life of his dreams and follow his passion. Does this story sound familiar? So, what happened to Mukesh? If you notice, Mo, which is millionaire mindset, was in control when he was a child, but he too was blindfolded by the education system and got into the rat race, allowing an average Joe to take over his life. He could not find the guts to take risks or find ways to follow his dreams. I am not saying that everyone should quit their job, because some people are happy working for someone else and do make it to the top in a few decades. But what you need to do is follow your dreams. Find ways to fulfill your personal desires as well while working 9 to 5. Are you excited to live an average life and allow Joe to take control of your life? Or would you rather make changes to your life today, make Mo stronger to fight against average Joe and have a better ending? Some people recognize the need of making Mo strong early in their lives and go on to live the life of their dreams. Some may be lucky because they got an environment where their parents, friends, or colleagues encouraged Mo and they became successful. For instance, in Silicon Valley, People are more business minded and are willing to take risks. Western countries encourage building your life around passion like arts, music, dancing, acting, swimming, and others. But let us admit, not everyone is lucky enough to get that kind of environment. We rely on life changing moments or incidents that help us to realize the problem and focus on having more take control. I had a series of such incidents or moments which helped me to kill average Joe, and since then I have become unstoppable. Now I do not let Joe overpower Mo. I still have those moments where Joe tells me to relax and take it easy. I listen to it sometimes as life is for living and not just grinding. But for the majority of time, Mo is in charge. In fact, I enjoy it more when Mo is in charge as I do not take my work as work. This book is going to give you the exact formula that helped me. The same formula can be applied in your life and you can become unstoppable and super successful. This book is not one of those typical theoretical motivational books that pump you up momentarily. This book is a proven, practical, step by step guide with easy implementation methods to transform your life. I congratulate you for picking up a copy of this book. You have proved that you are different and you have recognized the more in you. I am excited that you chose me as your friend, guide, and mentor to help you grow exponentially. Now, here is an important question. Are you ready to explore the secrets of most success and learn the formula? Then follow this guide, complete each exercise, and implement these teachings into your life starting today. The formula. You were born dumb, naked, and speechless. You do not have to die that way. However, the irony of life is that there are billions of people who have the brains but never master their thoughts and generate new ideas. There are people who spend thousands on their attire to cover their naked bodies, but their thoughts and mind are still naked, deprived of the attire of greatness. These are the people who learned to talk but never realized their true purpose and never spoke their mind. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Impossible things have been achieved by human beings. Imagine you are sitting on an exotic beach, wearing a Hawaiian outfit and laying on one of the shacks, sipping an apple martini or mocktail. You're observing people around you. They are relaxed, especially those hot girls in bikinis and handsome guys. Your favorite music is playing in the background. You see happy couples and families, most of them super smart looking and super rich. Back home, you have a huge mansion with luxury cars and servants. You have employed hundreds of people to run your business. You have multiple sources of income. Even while you are sipping on your favorite drink, your bank balance is going up every day. You have reached a position in life where you have created indestructible wealth. There are millions of people who know you and follow you on various social media platforms. You have changed many lives. Your family is very proud of you. You just remembered an interview you gave recently where you were asked, "What is the secret of your success? How did you go from being an average Joe to a super rich and famous person?" To which you replied, "I understood the power of mindset. I realized my true potential. I learned a formula by studying super successful people, which transformed my life. I could feel the new me within a few days of that discovery." Now, what if I told you this story is true and will become your reality 5 years from now. For sure, this will become your reality. Question is, will it take 5 years or 25 years? What if you knew a formula that could change your life forever and make you unstoppable? What if your friends and colleagues started admiring you and envying you for being so motivated that you will never stop at average results? What if I showed you the exact formula, step by step, which can help you lose an ordinary or middle class mentality and adopt a millionaire or billionaire mindset? After studying all the millionaires and billionaires around the world, I was forced to think what makes them who they are. I spent thousands of hours understanding the secrets of the most super successful people. I started to look for any blueprint, any mantra, or any formula that could be applied by anyone in their lives to become super successful. Finally, I understood the ultimate formula to become unstoppable. It has to do with mindset, then skills. In my words, it is 80% mindset and 20% skills to become unstoppable. Some even argue that it is 90% mindset and 10% skills. But I prefer Pareto's 80-20 rule. It is only the unstoppable mind that can imagine, dream, and force people to do things beyond the ordinary and make them legendary. After trying and testing this formula on myself, I got fantastic results within a year's time. It was the same formula applied by Mo and hundreds of others. I went from someone who was in a comfort zone to becoming unstoppable and hence multiplying my income, getting thousands of followers and admirers. I bet you can do that too. Best part, it is easy if you truly apply it. I promise if you follow what is written in this book every day diligently for next few days, you will enter a zone of top 10% in the coming years. You will become an unstoppable beast who will tear the world apart until you get what you truly deserve for yourself and your family. I'm not talking about just money. An unstoppable or great life must have the holy trinity in life: lots of money, amazing health, and a beautiful family life, in no specific order. So, what do you need to become unstoppable and super successful? Let me share a real incident that took place in the southern part of India a few decades ago. There were two friends. One was an industrialist and wanted to build a water purification plant in India. He was going to invite international organizations to respond to this RFP, which is request for proposal, and POC, which is proof of concept, by testing the possibility of setting this up. It seemed the project would run into hundreds of thousands of dollars. His friend was very keen on giving it a shot, so he went to his industrialist friend and said, "Buddy, I think I can help you. I think I can set up this water purification plant for you." The industrialist responded with a broad smile. "Are you serious? How would you do that? You have no such background." He responded, "Give me some time. I will learn and show you." He went and studied water purification books and other materials for weeks. Finally, he was ready and went back to this industrialist friend and said, "I am ready. Are you ready to test it?" The test failed, and his friend started to smile and said, "This is not your area of expertise. You don't have the skill. You will never be able to do it. I better deploy the foreign company." He requested one more chance, and his friend agreed. He went back and again studied why he failed and what he had missed. Finally, he went back and said, "Are you ready?" He tried it, and guess what? It worked. He won the project and executed it at a fraction of the cost that foreign companies would have charged. This man is none other than Sadhguru, a well-known Indian spiritual leader. I saw one of the interviews where he shared this story. Now, How did he do it without any knowledge or skill? You must be thinking it was because of his will, hunger, determination, drive, motivation, obsession, etc. Yes, all of that is right. All of that can be categorized into one thing, that is mindset. To conquer the world that you seek, you need to have two things: mindset and skills. While both are important, you need to conquer the mind first so that you have the hunger within you to acquire the right skill set. If and only if you feed your mind with the right thoughts every day, will you win the 80% of the battle. The rest of the 20% will automatically be acquired if you have the right mindset. I am talking about an obsessed mind. Sachin Tendulkar was the only cricketer to score more than 100 centuries in his career. He says that going to the cricket ground is as holy as going to a temple for him. He had the obsession and the right mindset from his childhood days to develop his unbeatable cricketing skills. Had he not acquired the right mindset, he would have never mastered his craft. Similarly, all the greats, Usain Bolt, Steve Jobs, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, Elon Musk, Larry Page, Jack Ma, and others, if they had not developed their mindset, they would not have become who they are today. They are the people who were obsessed with their craft and were unstoppable. They might have failed in many areas of life, but despite all those temporary setbacks, they stayed unstoppable because they had tuned their minds to achieve great success in their fields and not remain average. With the help of this book, you will be able to attain the same level of mindset, provided you truly believe that this book is going to change your life. We will talk more about it as we go deep into this in coming chapters. Let me share how I built an unstoppable mind. Let us start from the beginning. My story: journey to 10 million. From not being able to communicate well in English to becoming a best-selling author and an international keynote speaker. From not liking sales to loving it and becoming India's leading sales and social media expert. From not knowing what to do in life to having a goal of transforming 10 million lives. From having one source of income for 13 years to building multiple sources of income and ultimately becoming a part of the top 6% earners around the world. Do you believe someday you will live a life that you dreamt of and not the one that was given to you? Let me share my life's exciting journey so far and the reason for my goal of helping millions of people become great in life. My family and I. I was born in a lower middle class family. Father, a truck driver. Mother, a housemaker. An elder brother and grandparents. We lived in a small town called Adipur in Kutch, Gujarat, which is in India. Neither of my parents went to school. My dad could read and write in Gujarati. We used to live in a small house with cement sheets as the rooftop. It was a corner house which was surrounded by people who were drunk, jobless, and good for nothing. We had good neighbors though. I remember the summer afternoons were so hot and having no air conditioning or coolers, we had our own ways of keeping ourselves cool. My mom used to wet thin blankets and we used to put them on ourselves to enjoy a cool afternoon nap. That was our homemade air conditioner. Once the blanket was dry, we would run to dip it in the water to refill our cooling. Those days were fun, I must say. No matter how bad the surroundings were, my mother protected us from getting spoiled. She was very particular about not letting us play with other kids who used abusive language and were very shabby. Our life was between school, tuition, and home. It was only when we were grown enough to understand the difference between good and bad that she allowed us to play cricket with the neighborhood kids. Even today, she tells us the story of her struggle to get us to study in an English medium school. When she was young, she would work as a nanny, which is caretaker at some rich people's homes. She would see their children wearing nice uniforms and going to good schools. She became obsessed with her dream of making her future children study in a good English medium school since then. After we were born, she asked my dad to put us in a good school. My dad refused to agree to her wish and told her many times that we are ordinary people who could not afford to spend money on children's schooling. However, my mom never gave up. She asked my dad to sell all her jewelry and other precious things, borrow money if required. She wanted to make things happen at any cost. At last, my dad agreed and told her to go ahead and do what she pleased, but that he would never have time to visit school. She said that she would manage everything, and she did. Despite all odds of school only giving admission to students whose parents had money and or were educated, despite all our relatives putting doubts in my dad's mind, despite money problems, despite them not being educated, they ensured that we got a good education. My mom shared some of these interesting life moments when I interviewed her for my YouTube channel. You can look it up by searching Who is Valbai Gadvi and What is Her Story. It is in Hindi. None of our relatives of same age or elder to us studied in an English medium school except my brother and myself. They all have either a small business like tea stalls, sugarcane juice stalls, milk delivery service, rickshaw driving, selling cutleries, or they are into farming. Only a couple of our cousins have done well in their businesses. I'm so grateful to my parents for sending us to an English medium school by overcoming all the hardships. However, apart from the classroom sessions and books, there was no English in our lives. Everyone spoke in either Hindi, Gujarati, or Sindhi. So having bad English along with a terrible Guju accent, which is Gujarati language pronunciation, was obvious. My journey. Having no idea of what to do post-college, I grabbed whatever opportunity came my way, that is, booming industry at that time, BPO, which is Business Process Outsourcing. Despite living in Mumbai and other metros, I still lived with my average mentality. I was in the company of people who were great and some average people who were happy and satisfied with their average lives. But I did not recognize that I had average thinking disease. Number 1. Start of career. I started my career in a domestic call center where my opening greeting line used to be, Namaskar, hoon Dev tamari kevi rite sahayata kari sakun. In other words, hi, this is Dev here, how can I help you? That's a killer greeting line, isn't it? When I decided to move from the Gujarati world, which is domestic BPO, to the English world, which is international BPO, lots of people told me not to take the risk because they hire and fire fast. I still took a risk despite having the wonderful Guju accent and terrible English grammar. Thanks to that risk, I improved my communication skills. 2. Wipro days. During training days, I was laughed at for my Guju pronunciations like GTV, which is ZTV. Snacks sounding like snakes. Grammatical errors like he say, I didn't went. It goes on and on. Thanks to my great communication skills, I got myself 7 weeks of on-job training, which is OJT, instead of usual 3 weeks. I probably hold the record for highest number of weeks spent in an OJT in Wipro. Fun, huh? FYI, OJT was after 1 month of classroom training, so I really did great to earn myself a 7-week record, I guess. A huge thank you to Sandeep Dave's amazing OJT squad, Chetan, Dikshit, Sid, Sarita, and many more. They did not give up on me as they saw my commitment to make it happen. Fast forward 1.5 years, I was the one training people in OJT. Thanks, Shibli Juard. and helping them become good at customer service and upselling. That was the time I realized how much I like to help people become better at their jobs. Number 3, Oracle days. Oracle days were the most important days in my career as they taught me the ABCs of sales through different sales trainings and methodologies like Sandler's, Costigan, emotional intelligence, etc. Very thankful to great leaders and supporters like Sumant, Padmanabhan, Satya, Samir, Rajesh, and many more. A big thank you to my brother Mansingh Gadvi for always helping and guiding me with my career path. Sales luck by chance. Sales happened to me by luck, but after being in sales for a decade, I realized I landed at the best place because sales drive the economy. Imagine there were no salespeople. All the production would go to waste if it were not consumed to the optimum level. Sales exist since the barter age and probably before that. Sales folks can command and demand a greater paycheck if they produce in great quantities. This role has the ability to earn you unlimited money in the form of commission. Work from wherever you want, whenever you want, provided you keep the cash register ringing. Travel around the world and see some of the amazing places. There are very few jobs like sales that have so much leverage. Every successful entrepreneur is a good salesperson as well, with few exceptions from technology world. But an average salesperson will not have most of the privileges. So, this brings me to my next point. Average company, average thinking. Despite being called a good performer and a star, I realized that I never worked up to my potential and was satisfied with average output. Average performance would only get me an average life. Here I was, the victim of the average thinking disease called Average Joe. I am very confident that you too have been a victim of this disease at some point in your life. There are at least 150 to 250 million, which is 15 to 25 crore people in India alone who are not yet aware that they have this disease. An average middle-class working person is not willing to push himself or herself to do great things in life. We call ourselves professionals, but 90% of us are far from becoming one, and the reason is that we don't practice our skills enough, especially in sales. Kill the average disease before you are deceased. Dave Gadvi. If you want the life that you and your family deserve, you need to come out of average Joe mentality and aim to become great. By not committing to becoming great, you are breaking your family's trust. Most of the technology companies originated in Silicon Valley. Why? Because of the tech-savvy neighborhood. Everyone eats, sleeps, dreams technology. Ideas breed more innovative ideas. I'm sure you already know the story of Google, Apple, and other giants. Some originated from a discussion over a coffee at a famous coffee shop there. Company matters. I grew up in an environment with average schooling, an average company, and average middle-class life. Everyone was happy and satisfied with the average paying jobs, the average grades, the average lifestyle. Not that anyone was bad, but the truth is, everyone limited themselves to an average life. And that is the biggest mistake even I made, which cost me so many years. Why? Because no one told me that I could become great. Why? Because no one told me to work so hard till people call you crazy until I could live a rich life. Rich not in terms of money, but health and family too. Why do we have to ask friends to refer us for a job? Because most of us are average performers. Why do we always have to watch our spendings? Because we have not created enough wealth. Why don't we have great health? Because we don't eat right and work out. Why do we always worry about expenses? Why not focus on how we can multiply our income? Schools don't teach you to have a dream, be passionate, stay motivated, and more. You must realize yourself someday, and the sooner the better. Average company breeds average thinking. We will discuss the solution in detail in coming chapters. Why Mission 10 Million? Post starting a YouTube channel, keynote speeches to help individuals and businesses, writing articles on LinkedIn, helping poor street vendors via Care Nation initiatives. I had a lot of people asking me about my goal of helping 10 million people and why I was doing this. Not counting the rest of the world, just in India, there are 267 million people falling in middle class category. Coming chapters will cover my journey so far, the why behind Mission 10 Million, and the secret of getting rid of average mentality, finding your life's purpose to becoming unstoppable and keeping the fire burning. I wasted precious decades of my life working and getting by, thinking I was doing well as compared to my friends and other colleagues. Little did I know about success, winning, or making it big. I did not have anyone who could teach me how to treat success as my duty, my responsibility, and my obligation. I only found out through Uncle G. I was enlightened and woken up from my mediocre sleep through a 440-volt shock in the name of the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. Just like millions of others, I hated reading books. I still do, but I found a hack which I will share in the coming chapters. After I became aware of what I had been missing in my life, I realized that there are millions like me who need to explore the power of an unstoppable mind. Hence, I decided to experiment on myself, and then later I would bring the same success formula to people who wanted to succeed. As of today, I am on track of becoming financially free, building my own legacy by helping many people across the globe, having multiple streams of income, living the 10x life with great health and family. I am part of the top 6% population in terms of total annual earnings. I have been speaking at premier events, doing keynote speeches, coaching and training small businesses and solo entrepreneurs, helping them with their sales and social media strategies, conducting workshops like Passion That Pays, helping many to become financially free by building the amazing mindset to win. I also have my NGO Care Nation that is busy helping street warriors and hence inspiring others to do the same. I am India's only passionpreneur on a mission to inspire and empower 10 million people. Goal may have increased by now. Why 10 million? According to NCAER, India's middle class population would be 267 million in 2016. Further ahead, by 2025 and 26, the number of middle class households in India is likely to more than double from the 2015-16 levels to 113.8 million household or 547 million individuals. 70% of the 267 million people, that is 186 million, have the average disease, and I know for sure that I have a cure. So, helping 10 million to begin with is not a bad goal to have. Would you agree? 3-step formula to become unstoppable. Number 1, realization. Number 2, transformation. Number 3, sustainability. Chapter 2. Step 1. Realization. Going back to our story of Joe, what was missing in his life? He did not realize what he was missing. He did not know his own potential. He told Mo that he wanted to change, but he was far from self-realization. It wasn't like he really needed to change his life. He may have understood the importance of living a better life, but he did not realize how his average Joe mindset and life was impacting his family as well. How could he improve something that he did not even know needed improvement? How could he fix something that he was not aware as broken? How could he attain success when he was not aware of the areas he needed to excel in? How would he find time to learn new things if he did not realize the importance of learning every day? I'm sure you have seen or heard success stories of people who transformed their lives due to some incidents. There are millions of real people who have not been listed in any news or magazines, but they have become successful in their own ways. They all had some incidents that triggered them to do more and give more to the world. In other words, more overpowering Joe. For instance, there was a brigadier who served in the Indian Army for 35 years. The day he helped school children and received 800 thank you notes, he found his life's purpose and became unstoppable. He realized the power of giving and having purpose in life. In short, Mo overpowered Joe at the age of 60 plus. One more time. There are people like John who saw a poor beggar on the street and decided to serve them in the coming years. There are people like Shiv who saw a Varun Pruthi video on a social media channel and realized that they don't need money to help others. They just embarked on the journey. There are people like my friend Vishnu Mohan who felt good when working out and realized that they really love fitness and became unstoppable. Realization is the first step to becoming unstoppable. Realize that you have been born with some gifts that can change the world around you. Realize that you may not have used 100% of your potential. Realize that you may be living life just for the sake of living with no real purpose and goals. Realize that there are millions of people who you can inspire with your actions. Realize that you may have been thinking small and living with a mediocre or an average mindset. Most importantly, realize that you have your family who is counting on you to become great. Realization may not come overnight or only from one incident. It may take time, but if you have tuned your mind to be open to notice those incidents, you will get your breakthroughs for things that you really love doing and hence become unstoppable. My realization came from series of small events. First, when I realized that I was living from paycheck to paycheck despite making lakhs of rupees every month. So, I tuned into a YouTube channel to learn about sales. Started feeding Mo. Second, when I read the 10x rule, Mo became powerful with this booster. Third, when I started to take action on my mission 10 million. Fourth, when I built the Care Nation community to help serve them. One thing led to another and I acquired a millionaire mindset. I realized there is an abundance of everything. There are hundreds of ways to make money. Success is when you have the best of all, health, wealth, and family. True success is when you help others succeed. Being average is a failing formula. In the next few chapters, we will cover different realizations starting from mindset, money, health to family. It will show you how you can make the more in you more powerful. Realization 1. Average mindset. Average is a failing formula. Do you believe you are living the best of your life? Do you believe you have everything that you dreamt of? Do you believe you are providing the best life for your family? Who are we kidding? There are billions of people like Joe living an average life, assuming they have the best they can get. Hard reality? We got average schooling, average salary, average house, average social life, average car, average job, average performance, average health, and most importantly, average ecosystem, which equals average life. You want a great physique? Average workouts will not get you impressive results. Go out there and take massive action with persistence. You want to grow your business? Average amount of prospecting and closing business will not make your business grow substantially. You want loads of money? Average salary won't be enough. You want to be a sales champion? Average number of calls and meetings will not help. Let me ask you this. Do you recall a star performer at work or your competitor who is doing really well? Did you admire the way he or she works? Did you ever wonder what makes him or her a champion? Successful people are no different than others, but there is one thing they have in common. They have decided not to do anything average. They realize early in the game that average is not going to get them anywhere and decided to do more than what it takes to be successful. That is, take massive action. Mo is no different than Joe. In fact, Joe is smarter than Mo in many ways. The big challenge is Joe is caught up in an average life and he is comfortable being average. Now, he can choose to remain average and happy, but if you're someone like me, you would agree, why not be extraordinary and be happy? There are 4 categories of people around us. Category number 1, losers. People who always see negative in everything and put in the least amount of effort or no effort at all. They are least bothered about what is happening around them. They will only crib and complain about how the world is. They will say something like, "Man, the job market is so tough. I hate my job. My business sucks. My boss sucks. He doesn't know what he's doing. Loser. I could have been more successful if it wasn't for the company or manager or friend or family or a particular situation. All my colleagues are losers. Money is not everything. Money will not make you happy." Category 2. Comforters. These are the people who get comfortable in life and put in minimal efforts to stay afloat. These people just focus on hitting targets. Even if they fall short, it does not bother them. Be it in job, business, or health. They will set a goal of losing 5 kgs, but will settle even if they reduce weight by 2 kgs. They will prefer going for movies, hanging out with friends, relaxing on the couch over the weekend instead of reading a book or watching educational videos. They will ask their friends to shut up if they give them advice on work, business, or how to become successful. They will label others as kitabi kida, which is nerd, padaku, studious, loser, etc. But in reality, they themselves are semi-losers. They will say something like, "I'm doing my best to hit the goals. I tried my best to reduce 5 kgs, but then I have family commitment, hectic schedule, I stay in PG, I can't cook my meals, I have no time to work out. It is so difficult to start your own business. I tried reading a book, but it's not for me. I am better than he is." Comforters try to console themselves by telling themselves that they are doing good or that they are better than others. They always have an excuse for not doing something or not being able to achieve something. They're happy with what they have. Category 3. Averagers. These are the people who do what they are supposed to do, sometimes creating small success, meeting their goals, or keeping bosses happy. They work hard or pretend to be working hard when it is required for the company or doing what is required for business. They could be on the top 5 performers list. They may read a book once a while if their friends suggest, or they may watch some motivational video, but that drive soon fades away and they go back to their average lives. They have many pending books to read. They buy books but don't finish them. They would say something like, "I am doing good at work. I met my targets. Yes, I read that book, but I'm not yet finished. We'll finish it soon. That soon never comes. I can't take that risk. I have so much responsibility. Getting into a business is hard. I want to start something on my own, but I do not know how. I went to the gym for 3 months, but then got busy. I know the value of money and how important it is. I know the value of hard work. I saw how my dad used to work hard. Category 4. Unstoppables. These are the people who take massive action. They create remarkable success very often. Winning is a habit for them. They are addicted to success. They are looked upon by others as extraordinary humans. They are the people who work extra hours and know how to work smart. Management loves them because they are highly productive. They are the people who have started their own businesses and committed to making it big someday. They read books very often, go to seminars, hang out with leaders, have big goals, will be well known for something great. Their family loves them, but sometimes they're too busy with work. They inspire others to come out of their comfort zone. They become a benchmark for people around them. People tell them things like, slow down, your goals are unrealistic, you're crazy, you're studious, etc. This is what they say. I want to make things happen. I have a mission. I will do it. I will not stop till I get there. I know nothing comes easy in life. I love doing this. Now, Joe in our story can be categorized in either the losers or comforters categories. People like Joe would never even pick up a book like this because they do not even have the realization and do not feel the need to change. People around them would have already told them that they are either losers or comforters. But do you know which is the most dangerous category to be in? It is not losers and comforters. It is averagers indeed. Why? Because it is very hard to identify averagers. They are people who are doing fairly well at their jobs and somehow getting by. They meet their targets, sometimes miss them, but mostly do what is asked of them. An averager is a comforter in disguise. They do realize that they are not working up to their potential and yet continue to convince themselves that they are doing well. But in reality, it is just hurting them in a long run. They will feel the pain when the economy goes bad or some unfortunate incident happens and they do not have enough money to handle it, so they rely on loans. I was definitely not in the losers or comforters category, but in the averagers category for more than 33 years. Indeed, you too are not in a losers or comforters category because you picked this book. But did you check if you have any of the averagers symptoms? When the economy gets difficult and people are cut off from their jobs or businesses, it is losers, comforters, and averagers who are in the danger zone because the winners would have stacked up the wealth for themselves and will easily weather the shock. Exercise. Write the names of your colleagues or friends and categorize them into 4 categories given above. Cross out the friends who are in losers categories and stop hanging around them. For comforters category, inspire them with your growth. Make sure they notice your growth and push their limits as well. Give this book to averages and make sure they read it. This will be the best thing you can do for them as a friend. Spend as much time as possible with unstoppables. If you do not have them on your list, then this is the time to find them. Where can you find them? You will find out in the coming chapter called Ecosystem. Reason why people fall for average. Everyone has a dream to live a better life and to earn loads of money, have a good house, wonderful family life, and more. But the reality is, Only 10 to 20% of people get ahead of the game and get what they dreamt of, and the rest of 80 to 90% of people fall into the trap of living an average life, worrying about the mortgage and saving for a rainy day. Just like me, you may have been brought up in an average family in terms of financially, with an average education and in the company of average thinkers. So, when you started to get small successes, you became comfortable and decided to take it easy. I know this is not intentional, but people get comfortable with life and stop growing. They don't want to take risks. They don't invest in improving their skills. They stop putting in massive efforts to create success for themselves. Who pays the price? The whole family. As Grant Cardone says, treat your success as your duty, obligation, and responsibility. Make success an ethical thing. Be successful for your family who is counting on you. Do you want an average life for your family? No? Then realize that average is a failing formula. You need to be at the top because it's the average and bottom that are overcrowded. Average is the reward for mediocrity. From childhood, the majority of people have been asking you to get a job, get married, not to take risks, go easy, and on and on. The people who have no dreams for themselves will ask you not to have yours too. They will ask you to limit yourselves to the boundaries that they have made for themselves. Innocent us, we fall for that trap and don't go out building our wings to fly. How many of us were taught in school or by our family to go out and take risks or do our own thing? 90% of the time, people around us, especially our loved ones, will ask us to stay safe and not to take risks. Take a risk, especially when you are young. Get into a business. You will fail many times, but you will learn a major lesson of your life. You will be able to live the life you deserve on your own terms. Realization 2. Purpose. Definition of purpose: the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. W. Clement Stone. In the early 80s, one man walked into a coffee store and was mesmerized by the aroma of coffee, the smell, the smooth taste of the burnt beans. That day, he decided to dedicate his life to bringing this joy to the people around the world. He quit his high-paying job and started working in a coffee shop as head of marketing. A few years later, that company became multi-billion-dollar business known as Starbucks, and the man is none other than Howard Schultz. Why did he risk his steady income to take a pay cut and work for a small boutique coffee shop even when his family asked him to focus on work? He found his purpose and realized it the moment he stepped into that small coffee shop. We all need to have a keen observation of things that we really love to truly find our purpose. On the day of meeting the Lord, what if you discovered that the life you lived was all wrong? You were sent to this earth for a specific